Thank you for joining us. And you're going to want to hear this interview because we're going to be talking to Maribel Diaz, who wants to be a judge. And then we have Sabrina Lazos over here, who's going to participate in this conversation. So first of all, welcome. And why don't you tell us who this is?
This is Sophie Diaz. She's an 11-year-old Maltese, and I've had her since she was 4 months old.
It's wonderful. And she's looking around. She's all good. People want to know why people want to become judges. So what is it about you and your upbringing that said, one day I want to be a judge?
Early on, since I was 6, I've always wanted to be an attorney. And I said to my father, well, I'm also going to be a judge.
At what age was that?
At 6 years old.
Wow. Okay. That's when you said it.
Yes, that's what I said.
When did you know it?
Oh, as soon as I became a lawyer, that was the goal, to be a judge at some point after I have enough experience.
I'm sorry. When you said, I want to be a lawyer and I want to be a judge, you said when you were 6.
When I was 6.
Did you start thinking about that before that?
No, I think I was too young.
All right. So one of the things that we find, all right, is when people get to it, there's a time that you express it. There's another time where it grows inside. So Sabrina, why don't you tell us what you do?
Well, I recently graduated from law school with honors. I graduated from Nova, which is Maribel's also. That's her alma mater. I'm currently studying to take the Florida bar, and I'm really excited for Maribel.
That's wonderful. And why did you want to become a lawyer?
I actually, just like Maribel, in second grade, I think it was a career day or something like that. And when all the kids were asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said judge. Have no idea why I said that when I was too little.
How old is second grade?
Is that 9? I think.
I think 6 or 7.
6 or 7? Oh, so 6 or 7. Pretty young, just like Maribel. And I think I saw it either in a movie, but I didn't really know what the job entailed. And at that young age, I said, judge. And since then, I've had that path and I've maintained it.
Right. So here you are at age 6 or so. You say you want to do that. So what did you do between the ages of 6 and 9th, 10th grade, 11th, 12th to move that along?
I actually graduated with a pretty high GPA in high school. And
she's so modest.
So in high school, people knew that was that's what I wanted to do when I graduated. And I went to college and got an accounting degree. So I graduated with honors from St. Thomas University. So after that, I went to law school, and that was always the plan in my life, to become a lawyer.
So you're pretty bright. And one of the things you recognize is there you are, you're on this path. And once you decide that, the doors seem to open a little bit bigger.
100%.
And did you recognize that when you're on that path, said, I want to become a lawyer?
Yes, I think that I first realized this path is for me when for high school, I went to a magnet school and they had an entertainment law program. And I would say that the school did a great job with exposing us to all sorts of people in the law field. And you'd be surprised with having a law degree, there's so many things that you can do. So I knew that even if maybe a lawyer wasn't 100% what I wanted to do, a law degree, I for sure wanted to have in my back pocket.
It's good to hang on to that. Mm-hmm. So I told my kids, it's better to be unemployed with a master's than unemployed with a bachelor's. So do whatever you want to do, but make sure you get that thing. All right. So what was it about in your career path, why you wanted to be a judge? You could have been a lawyer and go do something else.
I worked in the private sector for most of my career. And at one point, I was like, I need to serve the community. I've come across many, many, many different people in this campaign path, and very good people, very humble people, and they've embraced me and embraced my candidacy for my dream. And without having done that, I would have never come across all of these wonderful people. And serving the community gives me that satisfaction, saying, you know what, I'm going to use my knowledge to serve the community with impartiality, be a judge, make decisions that impact people's lives, and, based on the rule of law and what the facts are. And with my experience and the years that I have in as a lawyer, I believe that I can actually do that with grace and with integrity and with respect. So that's, in life, when you go home every day, you have to say, okay, what did I do today? How am I going to fulfill my life and how am I going to do good for the community. Miami-Dade County is a very, very big county. There's a lot. We're blessed to have diversity here. And serving as a judge would actually give me and the community an opportunity to embrace the legal profession and justice with integrity.
When you're watching her campaign, what is it like for you to watch her out there campaigning? And you're pretty close to it, so are you enjoying it vicariously? Are you watching?
I'm so happy for her because from the moment I met her, that was something that we bonded over. The idea of eventually becoming a judge and the fact that she's doing it and she's close to it. I'm so proud and excited to see it.
One of the things that what we've seen is people that may not have been an extrovert, they become that because you're on stage and people expect that. They don't expect you to sit over in a corner. They expect you to go out and greet people. And so what has it done for your personality to get what you want and to know the things that you have to do and that you're out doing them?
Like I said, I've met so many different people, and it actually gives me a satisfaction to hear their story because everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has an issue in their life or they have a problem, and it actually, I embrace it. I ask them, how are you doing today? What is it? How is your day going? What are you doing? What have you done? Where do you come from? And they tell me their life story, and it's actually very satisfactory. I'm satisfied with how people have embraced me and how I've embraced them. And to be honest, I've actually met a lot of people that I would have never met otherwise without doing this, and without getting out there and actually embracing. And I've actually had fun in my campaign. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment. But I've actually had a good time doing it because I've met so many different people in our community that I otherwise would not have met. It's actually, I'm actually blessed.
So you're going to be a lawyer, and you know that when you go to court or on a case, there's somebody on the other side that's advocating for their side, and I'll use the word lightly, attacking your position. So what is that for you when you anticipate, I'm going to be there, I'm going to do the best job I can, and somebody on the other side is going to be throwing darts at me, all right? And representing the person who trusts you that you're going to do the best job, and you go, oh my gosh, did I do it? Could I represent them?
Well, I keep in mind that it's a job. You're trying to represent. You want everyone to have equal representation, and the person on the other side. I mean, there's a defendant that also needs competent representation at trial. So the main thing I can bring in is preparation. If I'm prepared and the other side is prepared, it's not really like a duel in the courtroom. It's just if I had the right preparation and the right arguments, and they had the right arguments, it's whatever the judge finds to be just.
So one day you're going to be sitting up there and you're going to listen to this side over here, you're going to listen to this side, and in your heart of hearts you're going, I really like this person over here. But their position's not strong enough. They can't prove their position. The other guy's pointing out that you may like her, you may like them, all right? But they don't. This is what I say about that. So how are you going to balance that you can make sure that you do it the right way, which is based upon the law, and rather than what you would like to see happen?
It's not about personal. It's about what does the law say and what does the facts say and what the evidence is presented. That's all it is. You have to do it with integrity. We have a community to serve. We don't serve either side. We serve the community at large. So personality, liking, not liking, that does not play into the equation. You have to look at what the facts are and what the law is. We don't legislate the law. The judges, they interpret what the law says and apply the laws to the facts. That's it, and that's what the decision is. And now we'll say some people are not going to like the decisions that you're making, right? But as long as they feel that they were heard and they had the opportunity to express and be heard, then they'll say, even if they don't agree with your decision, they might say, well, you know what? She heard, the judge heard me out and made the decision what the law is.
Since she's really not allowed to talk about this stuff, but you're going to be a lawyer, right? And the difference between a lawyer and an attorney, depending on how you want to do it, it's the same function, different name. So how would you explain to a client? You represented them well, and the judge just didn't see it that way and ruled on the other side. So what's that conversation sound like?
I mean, one of the to be an attorney, you have a duty to your client to be communicating with them everything that's going on within the trial. And as long as you maintain competency and diligence throughout your preparation for trial, or even if it's at a settlement, if you're constantly updating your client and telling them how it is, the judge is not against the client. It's that the law wasn't in their favor.
Sometimes I haven't been in the courtroom in a while, thank goodness. And sometimes in the back of where the judge is, there's a sign up on the wall. Do they still have those? We seek the truth.
Yes,
I believe they do. Yeah.
All right, and that's what people want. All right, they want to be heard, as you're saying, and they want to be seen, and they want to be valued. So I wish you a lot of good luck with that, especially those first half a dozen trials. All right, and but by the way, what besides being a good lawyer, what kind of lawyer would you like to be?
Well, the type of law, or
yes,
corporate litigation. I definitely want to litigate. My background is in accounting. Graduated from yep, so many similarities. I graduated from the University of Miami with a bachelor's focusing in accounting, and I definitely like corporate law, and I would like to be in the courtroom. I don't want to be a transactional attorney.
So, this is county court.
Yes, it is.
Why don't you tell people the different levels of courts?
So we have small claims court, we have county, and we have circuit court.
So let's talk about small claims court.
Yes.
What kind of cases are heard there?
Usually debt collection cases, anything that's under 8,000.
Under how much?
8,000.
Oh,
yeah. And then you have county court, which is up to 50,000, and then you have circuit court, which is more than that. Usually county court is small claims cases, collection, maybe credit card debt, things like that, small unsecured loans and things like that. And then you have county court, which is a little higher. It could be personal injury, maybe something that's less than 50,000. Collection cases, maybe some foreclosures that are less than 50, but usually foreclosures are in circuit court because they're usually more than that. It's just the jurisdictional amount, basically, is what it is.
And so in the small claims courts, people can try to do that by themselves. They don't have to have a lawyer, or you don't have to have a lawyer anywhere. But
it's the people's court. Basically.
The people's court. There you are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how, and I know you're familiar with this, how mediation plays into this. A third party mediation. So you have lawyers on each side, and they go, okay, let's go to mediation. And don't most judges want to have mediation before so they can filter out all this stuff?
I would say that the best part about mediation is I think that both sides are getting everything on the table. So I feel like there's less to wonder about as to what the other party is seeking. I obviously that in a complaint and an answer, yep, you'll have what both sides want, but at a mediation, I think since there's that, the mediator there helps to actually see what exactly the party wants. Just what the party wants, what they'll take, what they won't take.
So in mediation, why don't you describe, so you have both sides, all right? Mm-hmm. On both sides, are they usually in two different rooms?
At some point, yes. The mediator is impartial. Basically, what you discuss with the mediator separate from the table is confidential. And what the other side discusses is also confidential. And the mediator is an impartial person, just like a judge. But a mediator helps come into a settlement agreement where both sides, or sometimes they come in an impasse, which means that they didn't settle anything.
So as far as the comfort level for both sides, they're a little more comfortable in mediation rather than sitting in the courtroom over there and the judges over there and the two sides?
I've actually done a lot of mediations back in years back when mediation was a requirement prior to filing a complaint. Yes, it's more comfortable because you're not in front of a judge. A judge is, people get intimidated by the black robe, say, oh my God, I'm going to court in front of a judge. But it shouldn't be that way, right? It shouldn't be that way. The judge is an impartial party that is allowed to make a decision based on the facts and the law, and it's a person that will hear your case. I will make a decision that affects, in a lot of cases, people's lives, but some people do get intimidated and they're scared by that. Yes.
There's a book that's probably about 40 years old at this point by Robert Bringer. He says you go into court a pig and you come out a sausage, which means you should probably try to settle this, all right? Because the only people that win, the guy over here and the guy over here, and you're not the guys, all right? The other guys, like your lawyer that's sitting there. Mm-hmm. And so whenever we've been to court on both sides, you realize that it's your time, your energy, your concentration. And we've had some very big cases where we sue people. Somewhere it lasted a year and a half, just trying to wear you out. And so for people that have not been in litigation for long periods of times, it's pretty pricey. Not just for the lawyer, but as far as, pay attention to your business. So when you mentioned about corporate law, why that type of law?
I think that it's because I would be dealing more so with negotiation. I mean, with with companies and corporations rather than individual people. Obviously, individual lives are at stake, but I think in the bigger picture, I don't mind taking that home with me. The fact that it's just a corporation versus dealing with someone's life or family law. I'm sure I would go home every day and just be constantly thinking about the case.
So we know right now about half the cases that are done for free or have been for some of the legal aid societies that are here. About almost half are now are for evictions. Everybody trying to defend themselves, and the landlords say, I have rights too. So when you hear those cases, all right, where you have, and I've been party to some of those, all right, where you have a single mom, a couple kids, and no money, and getting thrown out. Terrible. I've seen the piles of clothes and the kids on there. You have to call the county to come pick them up and find a place for them. And you're right, it gets pretty emotional when you and of course everybody wants to try to help them, except for the landlord says I've already helped enough because they haven't paid an X period of time. So and let's go back a little bit for both of you. Where did you go to junior high school and high school?
I went to high school at La Progresiva. It's a small school. And I went to junior high and high school there. And I went to college at St. Thomas, where I got my accounting degree. And then I went to Nova, like Sabrina.
Okay. And how about?
For middle school, I went to Everglades K through 8. Then for high school, I went to the magnet school, Miami Art Studio. Mm-hmm. It was fairly new. It was just a middle school, and we were part of their first graduating class. So it went from middle school to middle high. And then I went to the university. I graduated from the University of Miami with my bachelor's degree, and I just graduated from Nova.
Okay. So let's talk about that first school there. Did you have a favorite teacher back then?
Yes. In high school?
Yes.
Yes, I was very close to Miss Koya. She was our magnet teacher. So from the moment I met her, I would say just like Maribel, she was really big in, Sabrina, you need to get to that goal. If you want to be a judge, you're going to get there. If you want to be an attorney, you're going to get there. And she was very involved with the, I would say, the magnet students, but overall, our entire graduating class, she cared so much for us.
And for you. So, and how do you carry that forward to some little kid that's out there about the age you were there, and they're looking around about what to do? How are you going to help them out?
I mean, I try my best to tell others my experience. I praise having mentors. I think that when you have a mentor, any question that you have and you're unsure about, getting their opinion, that's the best way to make your educated decision. So I try my best to be a mentor to those who I can. I recently, I tutored throughout my entire time in high school, and one of the girls that I tutored reached out to me recently, and she said, "Sabrina, I'm applying to law school. What should I do?" And I told her it's hard, but anything that she needs, I'm here. And that's, I feel like just what Maribel did with me, that's the best. I feel like I'm doing something for the community, and at the same time, I know that they're seeing that they can also give back to the community in the future.
And we know people that want to become judges. There's something special about them, about this fairness doctrine that they have internalized, and that teaching that goes on, especially for those that have tough time getting represented. So let me ask you, what is it that you learned from some of your mentors and people that helped you along your way?
I actually had a lot of, just like Sabrina, a lot of professors and a lot of teachers in high school that actually embraced me wanting to be a lawyer early on. And I would say, just like what I did with Sabrina, I actually took her And at work, I saw her. She was struggling, and oh, I'm not going to get into law school. I said, oh, yes, you are going to get into law school. I'm going to help you. And I helped her, and I like to help people. I like to say, if you're struggling, you have to overcome, right? So everything is about overcoming obstacles, because life is not easy. So the younger generation, just like they did with me in high school and in college, you overcome. And when you have those types of people helping you, you can do anything. You can be anything. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a judge. So it's about overcoming obstacles. And when you have teachers and lawyers willing to take their time, to spend their time teaching you and helping you, that means a lot, because you can get very high in your career and in life by doing that, by having people like that.
So being mentored for you was a big deal.
Yes.
Very big.
I'm a big believer in it takes a village.
Okay.
I had a lot of
It
mentors
does.
involved.
All right. So we're going to wrap up here for a second. And again, if there was somebody in particular, there was a mentor, that doesn't mean there weren't a whole bunch, that really helped you, that really sits inside as it does with Sabrina. You want to talk to them, whether they're with us or not?
They're not with us anymore.
That's okay. Look right over there in that camera. All right, and talk to them.
And this is Sophie as well. Well, I would like to say my uncle was an attorney, and he's deceased, but he was a mentor to me. He was there and wanted to see me excel in my career. And he always said, you're going to be a good lawyer because you have gust and you have integrity. So that's, the message I want to send to him.
That's wonderful. I did want to share, when I was in Miami-Dade, I was failing a class, and the instructor said, I got a special class for you. I said, okay, go to, and I thought it was a class filled with people. It was her office, which was 2 desks. And she sits down, she said, Michael, what's the problem? I said, when I start writing, she won't understand this, I get frustrated, and I pull the paper out of the typewriter. Mm-hmm. And she said, what are you doing? And I start typing over. She says, Michael, the next time that happens, just stop for a second and pause. And then keep going. 50 years later, actually a little longer, I live like that every day because of this teacher. And actually, I have it up on the wall somewhere about when stuff gets tough, just hold on, take a deep breath. The turbulence will be over soon. And then you're just going to go about your merry way. So, almost your honor, all right? Now, Maribel,
that's the dream.
Yes. The election's coming up soon.
It is.
Very soon. People have a chance to do absentee ballot, go to the polls early.
Yes.
This is it in August. This is when it's going to be decided.
Yes.
It's not a November thing. This is an August thing.
It's an August thing, yes. Right. August 3rd to August 18th.
We wish you lots of good luck. And congratulations on your journey. I'm sure you're going to do fine. By the way,
I'm very proud of her.
Understandable. All right. So again, thank you very much for being here, Sabrina.
Thank you so much.
And let's look right in this camera here. Which one? Right over there. Okay. That one right there. Folks, thank you for joining us. And my brother Grant and I subscribe to the Disney rule, which is when you hug someone, don't stop until they do. Bye now.